Hey everyone, this is the third episode of Spark, Stories of Curiosity, Courage, and Connection. For this episode, we're going to talk about something close to my heart, self-discovery. Nasabi mo na ba na mukhang kailangan ko nang hanapin ang sarili ko? Alam niyo, nasabi ko yan sa sarili ko when I was in my 20s. And then when I was in my 30s. And also now that I'm inches away from my 40s. Kasi akala ko noon, isang hanapan lang ang sarili. Hindi pala ganun yun. And I've met people, a lot of people who were certain about themselves, who were certain about who they are. And to be honest, parang naiinggit ako sa mga taong katulad nila. Dahil I don't know how to do it. So iniisip ko, paano kaya nila yung nagawa? What did they have to go through? Who did they ask? And what led them to know more about themselves and have that kind of surety and certainty? Yung parang sigurado sila at kilala nila yung sarili nila. So, because of this desire, I was drawn to these kinds of people and dumating sa point na I really sought them out. So, ito yung reason kung bakit I joined other communities, classes, and groups. I was very eager to really find myself. Kaya lang hindi ko alam kung paano at saan magsisimula. So, what I thought was the right decision then, or rather the easiest way for me to know more about myself was through networking or simply meeting new people. And there is something that a lot of people experience, and I do experience it as well. So, since I'm a recovering people pleaser, meron akong tendency to have this very high regard for anyone I meet. I'm easily awed. Parang, wow, galing, mabilis akong ma-please, basically. And I was so naive enough to believe that everyone is like me. So, what I often do is I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm an open book. And if you can relate to this kind of personality, I'm sure you would agree that there is some kind of feeling that sometimes you feel like you're an easy target for manipulation. No? So, dahil nga ito yung na-experience ko, I came across this book by Dr. George Simon. Ang title is In Sheep's Clothing, Understanding and Dealing with Manipulative People. And there in his book, he identified the following character traits that can be easier, or that makes it easier for people to be manipulated. So, friends, check mo kung ganito ka. So, here's the first one. You have a strong desire to please others without taking your own needs into account. Parang wala ka sa equation, lahat tungkol sa iba. You don't believe that others would manipulate you or do harm on purpose towards you. So you have this kind of mindset na, no, wala namang, mabuti silang tao, hindi nila kayang gawin yan, or something to that kind of assumption. Third, you find reasons to excuse people's behavior. So you're always understanding, always forgiving na, naku, baka stressed out lang siya. You give justification to other people's poor behavior. And the next one is you have low confidence or self-confidence and low self-esteem. So, technically, when you have low self-confidence or low self-esteem, you put lesser space for yourself, bigger space or bigger spaces for other people. And lastly, you are emotionally dependent on others. So, kung masaya sila, that should be the priority. Because if they're happy, you'll be happy as well. So, here sa list na to, nung nabasa ko, sabi ko, aray, check, 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 check. Lahat yan, check. Ganyan ako, lalong-lalo na noon. Sabi ko nga, di ba, I'm a recovering people pleaser. And with how my husband has known me for a lot of years, sabi niya, meron akong tendency na magkaroon nitong Pollyanna syndrome. Or in other words, a positivity bias. Alam niyo itong klaseng mindset na positivity bias, it helps. Sometimes it's good. But when you encounter real life people, or in real life, when you encounter people na hurt, in pain, or basically masama yung ugali, hindi mo makakayanang protektahan yung sarili mo. Hindi mo na alam anong gagawin mo. Dahil basically you haven't really understood how to use and equip yourself with the right tools to control your excessive positivity. So when you encounter these kinds of people, patay. Kawawa na. I've been in that kind of situation so many times, and I think last year lang ako nagtanda. Sana. So, ang buhay, si Lord, does that. Dahil, naramdaman nyo na ba yun na parang kung hindi mo pa natututunan, kung hindi mo pa naisa sa buhay, kung hindi mo pa naitatama, paulit-ulit siya, mauulit at mauulit siya. Yun nga lang, with higher and higher stakes. Mas marami kang lessons na mas masakit na matututunan. So, you might be asking at this point, so anong relationship niya na pinagsasasabi ko with self-discovery? Friends, kadalasan, people who are in that kind of journey, who are looking for themselves, are very vulnerable. Very vulnerable. Ito yung state, or rather, ito yung feeling na parang ligaw na ligaw ka, you're totally lost and confused. Parang ganito siya. Nalulunod ka na. Nasa tubig ka, nalulunod ka na, at naghahanap ka ng makakapitan. Kasi sa isip mo, kung wala kang makapitan, yun na yun. Alam mo, tapos na. Wala na. Sa ganung pagkakataon, malamang kahit anong makapitan mo, at kahit sinong mag-abot ng kamay para tulungan ka, of course, kakapitan mo, 'di ba? At kapag nakaahon ka na, natural, pagpapasalamat ka to those people who were there to help you. And of course, it's natural to thank people who saved you, right? It's gratefulness or gratitude. Lalo na kapag para sa'yo it was, parang feeling mo it was a life or death situation. Kaya lang kung ikaw yung person na naive or blindsided, pasok na natin yung quite immature. You'll set this person up like a god. Yung ultimong kahit utot nila para sa'yo mabango. If that relationship is healthy, yung tumulong sa'yo at ikaw na natulungan, alam ninyong dalawa na walang may utang na loob kahit kanino. Hindi mo kailangan mang-kiss ass. And you can move forward sa buhay mo. You can move forward sa buhay mo knowing that someone at some point of your life was kind and loving enough para tulungan ka. Lalong-lalo na dun sa panahon na kailangan mo. Yun nga lang, if that person who quote-unquote saved you requires more from you, or it seems that the dynamics is kind of off, or off-putting, or weird, pwede mong gawin itong dalawang bagay na to. First, communicate. Express what you're feeling and basically seek clarity. Kahit nakakahiya para sa'yo to initiate that kind of conversation, because these are the things, when it comes to emotions, it's hard to talk about these things. And if you're bothered by how things are, ask questions, ask clarity, open up. Kaya lang kapag people pleaser ka, this is very, very difficult. It's cripplingly difficult. Pero kailangan mong gawin yun. And the second one, acknowledge your doubts. Alam mo yung gut feel? That gut feeling is there for a reason. Parang ano yan, internal alarm system. And most call it intuition. And I would definitely agree. Pero clarify ko lang, hindi ito yung intuition na parang magical something na parang kaya mo nang mahulaan kung ano yung kinabukasan levels. No, it's not that kind of intuition. The intuition that I'm talking about is the intuition that comes from trusting yourself, based on a deep knowledge of who you are, and based on the lessons you have learned from your past experiences, or from what you have learned from others. So, Kung ganyan yung situation, makikita nyo, diba, babalik at babalik pa rin sa self-discovery. Kasi if you haven't found yourself yet, or there's this feeling that you need to know more about yourself, may possibility na ang references na kailangan ng intuition mo to kick in ay kulang pa. And if you have that tendency rin to be overly positive, yung toxic Pollyanna levels, you might end up hurt and disappointed when you realize that you are in a situation that you never imagined that you would be in or didn't expect that you would experience. So when you feel like you're drowning and you know that you need help, of course it's okay to ask for help. And I would like to remind you that during these times, don't forget to trust yourself enough to check first what you can do. Baka marunong ka palang lumangoy. Maybe you can help yourself swim back to safety. Or better yet, calm and try not to panic. Kasi malay mo, hindi naman pala ganun kalalim yung tubig. At kaya mo naman palang isalba ang sarili mo.